Hello everyone, today I will give you guys an atlas tree for crafters. The tree will include the following mechanics: essences, harvest, expedition, beasts, and 2 optional node paths, Eater of Worlds and Sextant. I will give you a brief explanation for every mechanic that I invested points in. After that I will go over the atlas tree and tell you what points I invested where. Why essences? Essences provide you with 1 guaranteed stat and are easy to farm. You will have an easy time crafting decent items with essences. Why harvest? Harvest gives you a ton of crafting options that you cannot get anywhere else. If you are serious about wanting to become a good crafter, harvest has to be on your tree. Why expedition? Rock allows you to craft on, let's say, okay basis for his expedition currency. 2 yen provides you with currency that will help you craft items, for example orbs of scouring, whetstones, armor scraps, alchemy orbs, chaos orbs, divine orbs, essences, etc. And Danik allows you to buy normal and reroll currency for 2 yen and rock. He also has the chance to sell you logbooks, which you can then farm yourself or sell on the market. Why beasts? Beasts provide you with a variety of crafts which can be very useful. For example, remove a suffix, add a prefix, remove a suffix, split an item, create an imprint, and more. All of these crafts can be very useful for you if you use them. Why Eater of Worlds? The Eater of Worlds mechanic is optional. If you do not have the points or do not want to farm tier 14 plus maps, do not put points into it. The reason that I invested points in it is because of the Eldritch currency, which can be used on your items to improve them, and the altars, which increase the profit margins when you run a map. Scarabs and Sextants. I would use a B-series scarab to guarantee Einhar on your maps. The second scarab would be an expedition scarab to guarantee an expedition encounter on your maps. The first sextant that I would consider would be this one. Life force dropped by harvest monsters in your maps is duplicated. Harvest monsters in your maps have 100% more life. And harvests in your maps contain at least 1 crop of purple plants. You can choose between one of the 3 colors: purple, blue, and yellow. The second sextant that I would consider would be this one. Your maps contain the Sacred Grove. Pretty straightforward. You guarantee the Sacred Grove and you can take essences on your map device. And the last one would be this one. Monsters imprisoned by essences have a 50% chance to contain a remnant of corruption. Your maps contain an additional essence. If you are guaranteeing the Sacred Grove through the map device, this is a fine option to guarantee 1 additional essence on your maps. Let's talk about the Atlas tree. I created 2 Atlas trees. One where you guarantee the Sacred Grove through either a Sextant, the map device, or a map implic, and one where you do not guarantee the Sacred Grove, but more about that later. So the first mechanic that you should invest points into would be essences. Prolific essence. Your map contains an additional essence. The second node would be Crystal Lattice. Imprisoned monsters in your maps have 15% chance to have 3 additional essences. And the next node would be Crystal Resonance. Monsters imprisoned by a Shrieking Essence in your maps will be duplicated when released. Corrupting imprisoned monsters in your maps cannot release them. And the last essence node would be Amplified Energies. Essences found in your maps are a tier higher. Okay, let's talk about the harvest nodes. Bumper crop. The Sacred Grove in your maps has 50% chance to contain an additional harvest. Bountiful Harvest. Harvest monsters in your maps grant 200% increased experience. Harvested plants in your maps have 10% chance to spawn an additional monster. In the without Sextant tree, you take Call of the Grove. Your maps have plus 15% chance to contain the Sacred Grove. And in the with Sextant tree, you take this big node over here, Enduring Influence. Sextants you apply to your Voidstone have 1 additional use, so you get 1 additional use for free on your Sextant. The next big harvest node that you should take would be Doubling Season. Life force dropped by harvest monsters in your maps has 10% chance to be duplicated. And the last big harvest node that you should take would be Heart of the Grove. Harvest crops in your maps have 60% increased chance to contain a tier 4 plant. Harvests in your maps have 10% chance for the unchosen crop to not wilt. Okay, let's talk about the expedition nodes that I took. I took Ancient Writings. Remnants in your maps have 30% chance to have an additional suffix modifier. Expeditions in your maps have +2 remnants. And Distinguished Demolitionist, 35% increased explosive radius in your maps, 20% increased number of explosives in your maps. The next expedition node that I invested points into would be Rather Not. Expeditions in your maps have 90% increased chance to be led by Rock. A noble quest, expeditions in your maps have 65% increased chance to lead by Danik, and Scratching Up the Ground, expeditions in your maps have 90% increased chance to be led by Tuyen. We don't take this node because we don't need Gwenin for crafting. The last expedition node that I invested points into would be Buried Knowledge, 50% increased quantity of expedition logbooks dropped by runic monsters in your map. Your maps contain 20% increased number of runic monster markers. Okay, let's talk about the beast nodes. Animal Companion, your maps have 4% chance to grant an additional Einhorn mission on completion. You just take this node to get the small node that is behind that one. Bestiary, Beast Duplication chance, 3% chance to create a copy of beasts captured in your maps. You then travel down here and take the Mortal Gateway and invest a point in here, and then you take a big game. Yellow beasts in your maps have 15% chance to be replaced with red beasts. After that, you invest a point in the Eldritch Gateway so that you can invest a point here and reach these points. You take the Hunt for Kraken. Red beasts in your maps have 100% increased chance to be from the deep. Natural Selection. Beasts in your maps are more likely to be less common varieties. And the Hunt for Venomous. Red beasts in your maps have 100% increased chance to be from the caverns. Take all the small nodes. Bestiary, Red beast chance. Your maps that contain capturable beasts have 5% chance to contain an additional red beast. And then you travel up here. You take these small nodes. Bestiary, Red beast pair chance. Red beasts in your maps have 4% chance to appear in pairs. And Great Migration, your maps with Einhorn missions have 8% chance to contain additional packs of beasts instead of other monsters. Okay, let's talk about the optional nodes that you can take if you want to. Rampant Growth. Eldritch Ichor found in your maps influenced by the Eater of Worlds have 10% chance to be duplicated. Monster packs influenced by the Eater of Worlds in your maps have 2% chance to contain an additional touching tentacle mass. And Eldritch Gaze, Eldritch Altars influenced by the Eater of Worlds have an additional downside. Eldritch Altars influenced by the Eater of Worlds have 50% increased effect of upsides. And the last node would be the Shadow of Hunger. 20% increased chance to find Eater of Worlds altars in your maps. If you do not want to invest points into the Eater of Worlds mechanics, I would highly recommend that you spend your points here if you want to target farm a certain plant color. And as I have said, in this tree we guarantee the sacred growth through a Sextant. That is why we take Enduring Influence. Sextants you apply to your Void Stones have one additional use. Alright, but enough theory talk, let me show you some actual gameplay footage. Alright, we will run a Defiled Cathedral map with a Polished Expedition Scarab, Polished Reliquary Scarab, Polished Bestiary Scarab, and a Polished Divination Scarab. These two are optional, and I have a Sextant monster imprisoned by essences have 50% chance to contain a remnant of corruption. Your maps contain an additional essence, and I will guarantee a harvest through the map device. This usually costs 12 Chaos Orbs.
My mana is gone.
Ready, exiled! It is time to hunt! Off you go, Enki! Away! You are well prepared for the end. This is a...
I'm not up to that just yet. This way, exile. Put down this board.
Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy.
My mana is gone.
Form of alchemy.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Be honest now. I will take it. You have been captured.
Form of alchemy.
You will get the fighter, or you will be fooled.
Got another one for.
The first ones look upon this capture with pride, exile. You hunt well.
Seems risky. Yes, go after the treasure. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Form of alchemy. Form of alchemy.
My mana is gone.
The first ones look upon this capture with
Form
pride.
of alchemy.
You hunt well.
Alright, that concludes the video. I hope you guys found it informative. Bye.